We're always told to find our happy place, right? To get comfortable. But what if I told you that's pretty much the worst advice you could ever get? Today, we're going to tear down a really powerful idea that says the real road to success is actually paved with discomfort. So let's just dive right in. Seriously, just think about that for a second. What if the one thing that's truly stopping you from getting where you want to go isn't some obstacle out there in the world, but the cozy little bubble of safety you've built for yourself? It's a tough question, for sure, and it's right at the heart of what we're exploring. And there it is. This quote is basically the blueprint for everything we're talking about. Steve Harvey just lays it all out. No sugarcoating. And look, coming from a guy who has been through some incredible highs and lows, those words have some serious weight. Comfort isn't just a roadblock. He's saying it's a direct flight to failure. Real success, that's found somewhere else entirely, in a place that feels anything but comfortable. Okay, so to really get this, we've got to understand what we're up against. Let's pull apart this idea of the comfort zone and see why it's such a convincing and dangerous trap. I mean, on paper, that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Things feel familiar, stress is low, not a lot of risk. Our brains are literally hardwired to want this. It's all about stability. But here's the catch. What's good for just surviving day to day isn't always what's good for growing. The comfort zone is neutral. It's not forward. And this is the tricky part, because this stuff looks so normal. Choosing your routine over taking a risk, sticking with what you already know, these are things we do every single day. But when that becomes your default setting, you are, brick by brick, building the walls of the trap yourself. You're choosing the feeling of safety over the possibility of a real opportunity. So, staying comfortable feels safe. We get it, but the price you pay is huge. The argument here isn't just that being comfortable is a bad idea, it's that it actually guarantees failure. Let's unpack that, because that is a massive claim. See, there is zero wiggle room in that statement. It's not, you might fail, or there's a chance you could fail. It's a declaration. The idea is that in a world that is always changing and moving forward, if you're standing still, you're actually moving backward. Stagnation is a form of failure. So this basically lays out two different paths, right? You're at a fork in the road. The comfort zone path looks safe, it's paved, it's easy, but it leads to stagnation and a failure you can see coming a mile away. The other path, the growth zone, yeah, it's uncertain, it's uncomfortable, but it is the only place where real achievement can even happen. Okay, so if comfort is the problem, then discomfort has to be the solution. This is where we shift from diagnosing the problem to writing the prescription. What does this path of discomfort actually look and feel like? We really have to just completely rewire how we think about success. We like to picture it as this smooth, easy climb to the top. But the reality, according to this way of thinking, is that it's messy, it's awkward, it's full of friction. It's a procedure, a whole process, not some calm destination you just arrive at one day. And pretty much every single attempt at growth follows this exact pattern. It all starts with a simple decision to try something new. But then, almost immediately, you hit the friction, that resistance, that doubt, that little voice in your head telling you to just stop. The third step, perseverance, that's the whole ballgame. Pushing through that feeling is the real work. If you can do that, you get the breakthrough. You get real growth. Now, knowing the steps is one thing, but actually walking that path, well, that requires a huge internal shift. It's about changing the way you think, the way you react to things. It's kind of like installing a whole new operating system for your brain. And this right here, this is the core command for that new OS. The goal isn't to get rid of discomfort. That's impossible. The goal is to change your relationship with it. It's about learning to see that friction not as a threat, but as a big, blinking sign that you're heading in exactly the right direction. So how do we actually do that? Well, you start by reframing. That feeling of being uncomfortable isn't a stop sign anymore. It's a GPS signal telling you you're right at the edge of your abilities, which is the only place growth can happen. Then you turn it into a habit. You look for small challenges, you start treating setbacks as just information, and you celebrate yourself just for having the guts to try. All right, we have broken down the theory, we've identified the problem, we've got the mindset. But absolutely none of it matters without one last piece, action. This is where it all comes together. This whole thing doesn't start with some grand 5-year plan. The entire process we just mapped out, from comfort to growth, it gets kickstarted by one small, deliberate step outside of your normal routine. Just one moment of choosing a little bit of risk over that same old routine. And that brings us right here to the final question. And it's not for tomorrow or next week, it's for right now. What is one small thing you will do today that feels just a little bit uncomfortable? Are you going to make that call, send that email, sign up for that class? That one action is the moment this stops being a theory and starts becoming your reality.